Hari Om. Please close your eyes. We will chant the Shanti Pataha. Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. We will chant the Dhyana shlokas. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Amritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena tvaya bharata taila purnaha prajvalito jnanamaya pradipaha prapanna parijataya totra vetraikapanaye jnanamudraya krishnaya gita amrita duhe namaha. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdam gita amritam mahat vasudeva sutam devam kamsa chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishma Drona Tatha Jayatradhajala Gandharani Lotpala Shalya Grahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sothirna Khalu Pandhavai Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshava Parasharya Vacha Saroja Mamalam Githartha Gandhotkhatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Lokesha Jana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvam Sina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Devyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramo Panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti yam yogino yasyantam na vidusura suragana devaya tasmai namaha. Today we will see the topic purpose of human birth. In the world, there are objects and beings. Objects are inanimate. Beings are plants, animal, and human. Why do we have taken birth as a human being? Plants, as we all know, have life. A mango tree which would have been yielding fruits 100 years back is the same even today. There is no change. A banyan tree 100 years back is the same banyan tree even today. You would have heard banyan tree living for 500 years or so. So as far as plants are concerned, they have a physical body, and from birth till death there is no change. It leads a set life, a predetermined life. Slightly better than plants is animal. If you see animal, they have a robust body. Animals can move from one place to another place. They are not stuck at a place. We have come across birds, animals migrating, traveling hundreds and thousands of kilometers in search of food to beat the climate. Another aspect with reference to animal is a carnivore from birth to death is a carnivore. A herbivore again from birth to death is a herbivore. A cow cannot become a vegetarian, cannot become a meat eater. Beg your pardon. Same way, a lion cannot become a vegetarian. Their nature is predetermined. Providence has provided them a preset life, a predestined life. They can't change their nature. Even in plants, there are hundreds and thousands of varieties. Even amongst animals, you will find there are submarine creatures, variety of birds, big cats, elephants. The elephants in India are different from the elephants in Africa, the elephants in Thailand. I am talking about the physical structure. Variety of deer. Each and every creature has got a particular nature. So when it comes to human beings, what is the proportion of human being, the number? If you take the number into account, the total number of plants and animals is something an infinite number. When it comes to human being, that comparison between plant and animal and the human number, there is no comparison at all. Our human population is much less when compared to the plant and animal population. So in this context, I am asking a question, why is it that we are born as a human being? What is the purpose of human birth? All the scriptures tell us the purpose of human birth is to realize the self, Godhood. Another important factor I'd like to convey here is, if you see a plant, slide number 2 please. I have categorized here as plant, animal and human, and in column physical body, mind and intellect. I will explain you. A plant has a structure, physical body. It is confined to a place, completely dependent on external factors, sunshine, rain, etc. You have gone out of station, you forgot to tell your neighbor to water your plants, your garden, you come back, 10 days, there is no water at the root, they have withered off, lost its life. Plants practically have no feelings, leave alone thinking. So when I'm talking about mind here, I am talking about feelings, emotions, likes and dislikes, desires. There is no conscious awareness for the plant to live life. They can't think. Thinking in this context, if I have to ask a question, does a mango tree know that it is born as a mango tree? There is no conscious awareness. Therefore, if you see the first row, plant has a body, no feelings, no mind, no thinking, no intellect. In Sanskrit, mind is called as manaha, manas, and intellect here, the faculty to think, to reason, discriminate, buddhi. Please come to the second row, the animal. As we discussed, animals have a robust body, very robust body. They have powerful likes and dislikes. They have feelings. You have gone out of station, you come back after a week. How does your pet behave? Reveal, show the affection towards the master, the inmates of the house. Lick and hug and roll over. Can animals think? They have powerful intelligence. A bee knows where the nectar is in a particular flower. Elephants are proverbially brilliant. They have very powerful memory, they say. But do they have that thinking, the intellect? Why is it a lion is born a lion? Why a lion is being born as a carnivore? Why can't be a vegetarian, a herbivore? They can't question that way. We can say for practical purposes, they possess rudimentary thinking. When I say rudimentary, very elementary, minuscule, basic thinking. A dog can distinguish between its master and a stranger. A dog, a pet, knows the difference between food and dirt. In that way, they have the basic thinking. Their eating habits, their mating habits are beautifully programmed. Have you ever come across any zebra, impala overweight or underweight? We haven't come across like that. Any animal misbehaves, then they may have a congregation and discuss and say, why are you behaving like a human? Because when humans misbehave, we say, why are you misbehaving like an animal? In fact, no animal misbehaves. Friends, the third row, the human, we all have a wonderful physical body. The five organs of perception, jnana indriyas, the five organs of action, karma indriyas, constituting the physical body. We have powerful likes and dislikes, varied emotions. A person can be greedy, a person can be an embodiment of jealous. Drop of a hat, a person can get angry, lust, etc. Arrogance, envy. From birth to death, a human being is a bundle of likes and dislikes. After a few months, when the infants start eating food, solid food, mashed food, mother is feeding the child, the helper is feeding the child, the child makes a fuss. So the mother or the helper is thinking, okay, this food is not liked by the child. You change the food. The child doesn't make any fuss. Then the helper or the mother understand, yes, this food is liked by the child, this food is not liked by the child. The likes and dislikes are being set. You put on a particular color of a dress and we say, this dress, this color looks good on you. We haven't asked the child, the individual who is actually wearing, because they can't speak. The infant can't speak. After a couple of years, 5 years, 6 years down the line, the child start saying, I like this food, I dislike this food, I like this color of dress, I dislike this color of dress, I like this person, I dislike that person, I like this city, I dislike that city. The likes and dislikes get completely concretized. And that is what the mind is here. Can a human being think? Now in this context, I would like to bring in two aspects of intellect. Buddhi. Gross intellect and subtle intellect. Sthula buddhi and sukshma buddhi. What is gross intellect? Intellect by definition is the faculty to think, to reason, to discriminate, to weigh a pro and con and come to a decision. I'd like to be a vegetarian. I'd like to be a non-vegetarian. I'd like to study engineering, automobile engineering. I'd like to study medicine. When the reason, the questioning are applied in the terrestrial world, be it gross or subtle. When I say gross, yeah, should I go for one more chapati or not? That's a gross decision. What color of dress should I wear today? It's a gross decision. To a subtle decision which is being made by a scientist in NASA or Sriharikota. Though the individual is working on subtle aspect of the world, the decision is still in the terrestrial world. Therefore, that equipment used, the faculty used here is the gross intellect. From morning till night, every human being, whoever uses the thinking, applies the gross intellect. The moment a human being posit a question, what is beyond this terrestrial world? The field of activity is subtle in nature. Gross intellect doesn't play a role, the subtle intellect plays a role. Discriminate between terrestrial world and the transcendental. Then you start using your sukshma buddhi, subtle intellect. What is the purpose of human birth? Friends, only a human being has this faculty called the intellect. If we do not use the intellect, then imagine in the chart here that we have, if you have the X mark in the third column as against human, then there is no difference between animal and human. It is that faculty of reason makes a human a chef d'oeuvre of creation, a masterpiece of creation. So, what is the purpose of human birth? A magnificent quotation that we have here. Slide number 4, please. From the Kena Upanishad, part 2, mantra 5. Ihacheda vedi data satyamasti nachedi havedin mahati vinashtihi. The first line on the top is a Sanskrit shloka, verbatim picked up from the Kena Upanishad. The second line is transliteration. Those who do not know how to read Sanskrit, the same thing is there in English, transliteration. And the third line is the English translation from Choice Upanishads by Swami Parthasarathi. Iha, here, Satyam, Asti, truth is known. Na in Sanskrit is not. Mahati vinashtihi. Nashtihi means loss. Vinashtihi means great loss. Mahati vinashtihi, superlative. Greatest of great loss. What is the greatest of great loss here? If that, tat, that means the supreme reality, that refers to the self-realization. If truth is not known here, if that is known here, then truth is established. Purpose of human birth is established. If truth is not known, I haven't explained what the truth is. We will come to that. If truth is not known here in this lifetime, then what is it? It is the greatest loss. Purpose of living as a human itself is nashtihi, great loss. Therefore, in the very beginning of this lecture, we said, what is the proportion of plants, animals and human? As far as the number is concerned, human number is negligible number when compared to that infinite plant creatures, infinite animal creatures. It is very, very, very difficult to take a human birth. Having taken the human birth, if we don't attain the truth, then we are wasting our time here. A student brilliant in mathematics, in the board exam, the final exam, makes a silly mistake and loses 1 mark. And that individual has scored centum in all the exams, right through all the grades. And in that exam which counts most, he has lost a silly, error. He made a silly error and he loses 1 mark. What will you tell that person? How silly, how foolish. In Sanskrit, the word is mudaha, fool, idiot. In fact, it is a compliment. That individual who is brilliant, capable, has the potential, loses that capacity, capability, and does not gain that qualification, then that individual is being called here as a mudaha. On the contrary, a student has been ordinary all through the grade, and in the final exam that individual has scored A+. What will you tell that individual? Brilliant, well done. Exactly same way, friends, here we have taken innumerous births to qualify to give birth as a human being. Know, that's why the word Veda means to know. What is it that we want to know? What is it a person wants to know? A person wants to know how to earn money. It is called wealth fatigue syndrome. Entire life a person is chasing money, artha, wealth, becomes greedy. Over and above certain limit, what will you do with that money? Yes, it is very much essential. That commodity, wealth, is essential. But once that greed sets in, you can't do anything with that. Thinking goes out of rail, it derails. And that very greed itself pushes the person to such an extent that a person becomes fatigued. That's why it is called as wealth fatigue syndrome. A person has a 500 feet yacht and it says it's like a dungeon for me. I want a bigger one. Another person start chasing yet another dream, gaining worldly knowledge. And that's what a person, though having gained enough knowledge, has that lacuna within, that void within. What is it that can fill this void? It is called in Sanskrit as paripurna. A human being is paripurna by nature, all full. Purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate. A magnificent prayer. Human being is all full by nature. A simple example will help us here. We had a sumptuous meal, stomach is full. At least for some time the mind doesn't run into the world in search of food. When the stomach is relatively empty, then the mind starts running into the world to fill that emptiness, stomach here. Same way, a person can have that emptiness for wealth, a person can have emptiness for physical health, beauty. Just the physical beauty alone. A person can have emptiness for emotions. A person can have emptiness for worldly knowledge. A person can also have emptiness for spiritual knowledge. That's why it is called as the burning desire to liberate oneself. Mumukshatva. A human being has this, magnificent quality, that quality of viveka, vairagya, shat sampati and mumukshatva. Viveka, discrimination. Vairagya, dispassion. Sixfold qualities like self-control, faith, tranquility, withdrawal, calmness, etc. The last one is that mumukshatva, burning desire to liberate oneself, to attain the truth. So what is the primary duty for all human beings? The primary duty for all human beings is to attain the truth. What is the truth here? The truth is, the Upanishads beautifully say, tat tvam asi. Tat means that, tvam means you, asi means old English are. You are that. Your self is God. Number 6, please. A person makes a statement. I am an engineer. The engineer qualifies I. I am a doctor. Doctor qualifies I, the individual. When a person makes a statement, I am God, God and I are the same. It is not like I am an engineer, I am a doctor, I am a philosopher. That's a different one. So the Upanishads proclaim the truth that yourself is God. In the same breath, Old Testament Moses beautifully says, I am that I am. When the voice of God gives the piece of information, the sermon to Moses, and Moses wants to go back to the people, and Moses is asking, how will I introduce myself to my folks? And the voice of God beautifully says, tell them I am that I am. In the New Testament, Jesus Christ beautifully puts it, the kingdom of self is within you, the kingdom of heaven is within you. All mean the same. In Quran, it is beautifully mentioned, the greatest jihad is that for the conquest of the self. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna rose by saying, Kshetrajñam chapimam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am the self in all beings. What is that self here? A human being has physical body, mind and intellect. Physical body is like the outer body of an automobile. The outer body of an automobile cannot move by itself. The engine drives the outer body. You have the engine, you have the outer body, the vehicle is still not moving. The prime mover, petrol, is not present. So in this context, the outer body of an automobile can be compared to the physical body. The engine can be compared to the mind and the intellect. And the prime mover, petrol, can be compared to the self. In Sanskrit it is called as Atman. That self is unknown. We don't know what that self is. We haven't heard before through lectures like this, through textbooks, we are able to hear. So the fundamental principle of education is to move from what is known to what is unknown. So the very word education is made of two Latin words, edu and cate. Edu means to draw, cate means out, to draw out. So that piece of information which is taken from the external source is taken in, and then that reservoir of wisdom is drawn out from within oneself. So the fundamental principle of education is to move from what is known to you to what is unknown. A simple example will help us here. You don't know where the local museum is situated. You can have scores of information on that unknown area, unknown place. The moment if somebody gives you one known location, the clock tower, you say, yes, I know the clock tower. From that known place, you can trace that unknown. Physical body, mind and intellect is known to us. With that physical body, mind and intellect, what is known to us, you move to what is unknown. So if you see, the goal of all beings is to find that happiness. A pet at home has a bone, the pet is happy. If denied, the pet is unhappy. Same way with human beings also. That's why Arthur Schopenhauer beautifully used to say, it is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. And all the time we are searching for that happiness elsewhere in the world. Gets fatigued and come back and starts searching within. A family goes out on a holiday, on a vacation, full of happiness. In fact, they should be more happy in that place where they are going to spend their vacation. But in reality, what happens is, small changes that takes place in the place where they are on vacation puts the mind off. And each and every one is unhappy there, and come to an extent that, when will I get back to my home? A husband and wife very happy, but suddenly a small worry was there. Will we be happy the rest of our life, or will there be any sorrow and suffering? Someone in the town, the place where they are living, they said, there is an old wise man who has come to the town. He will give you a piece of advice how to be happy. So this couple go and consult that wise man. And the man said, you go around the world, you find out one couple who is very happy. Ask that man a piece of cloth from the shirt he is wearing. Then, rest of your life you will be happy. Hearing that advice, the couple go around the world. The first city, they meet a governor. They go to the palace. The couple here asks them, are you the happy couple in the city here? The governor said, yes, we are very happy, but we don't have any children. Then obviously they are unhappy. Then they keep traveling. They meet another family. They are contented, but the problem is they have too many children. They go village after village, town after town, until they meet one shepherd, a small child. They were rearing the cattle there, the sheep. So this man asks, "Are you a happy person? Happy family?" No king is unhappier than anybody else. It's a little confusing statement here. Our king is more unhappy than anybody else. Instantly, the couple here understood they are contented, happy family. The old man had requested the couple here, if you meet any happy family, ask them a piece of cloth from the shirt that he is wearing, the garment he is wearing. Now this person is asking, could you please give me a small piece of cloth? And that man says, if I am going to cut a small piece from the garment I am wearing, this is the only one I have, then I will be without any shirt. Instantly, this man here understands nobody can be happy ever. The way how we relate with the outside world, that's what gives us the happiness. Comes back to the old man here, and he narrates all the experiences he had in different places, and he says, if your mind is all the time in the present, not hankering over things that you want from outside, then that person is a happy person. And that's what beautifully Arthur Schopenhauer's statement corroborates here. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but impossible to find it anywhere else. So Swami Parsarthi beautifully used to say, move from known to the unknown. So if you analyze the world here, slide number 10 please. If you analyze the world here, the world is made up of 5 great elements. The 5 great elements are space, air, fire, water and earth. And this is on the right side of the chart there. On the left side of the chart here, you have the truth. What is the truth here? The truth is tat tvam asi. You are that. You are that self. That is unknown. Then we have to move from known. What is known here? The earth, water, fire, air and space. The 5 elements. You see the last one, earth. Why is it we worship the stone image? Because all the 5 sense organs can be contacted. We can see, we can smell, we can taste, we can touch, we can hear the sound also. All the 5 sense organs are able to be contacted. Therefore, that stone image which I have mentioned here as the idol, which people worship with, in order to move to the unknown ideal, we discussed that the national flag represents the nation. The national flag is the idol. National consciousness is the ideal. Same way here, the stone image help a person to transform, to move from known to the unknown. Next, subtle element. So earth is the grossest of the 5 elements here, and space is the subtlest. So water, we can't smell water. We can see, we can we can touch and feel, we can taste it. Like that, fire can't be smelt and can't be tasted. And fire is the first element here which can be seen. Therefore, most of the religions worship fire as an idol itself. So fire is a subtler idle when compared to stone image. As you move towards the left hand side, air and space. Space, only one sense organ, sound, can be contacted. Ear can contact sound here. Since there is only one sense organ which can contact sound, it is the subtlest idol to serve to reach the unknown ideal. Of all sounds, that sound Om is most powerful. Why it is most powerful? It represents the entire sound phenomenon. Sound originates from the guttural, like that, and then you roll it in the middle, oo, and is at the lip. There is no sound before the guttural or after the lip. Since this oo and represent the entire sound phenomenon that coalesces, U and M coalesces and it becomes A and U coalesces and it becomes Om. The second aspect why Om is chosen as the most powerful idol or symbol here is it has got both articulate and inarticulate sound. Articulate sound has a meaning. A person goes to a foreign land, a different language is being spoken there. Unless we are trained in that language, we can't relate with the other person. Whereas a person has a stomachache in that foreign land, cries, that inarticulate sound, crying, feeling can be understood by the other person. Same way here, that's why the Carnatic music, though it is unknown by many, you can feel that sound. Om pervades all consciousness. When the mouth is fully open, it is equivalent to the waking world. Oo, when the mouth is partially closed, it is equivalent to the dream world. And when the mouth is closed, it is equivalent to deep sleep world. So Om pervades all the three worlds of consciousness, and it is a natural sound. Right from an infant to old, everybody can utter this word. So we have learned what is the purpose of life. Purpose of life is to identify the truth. Since the truth is your self is God, you don't know what is that self, you move from what is known to what is unknown. And this is the fundamental principle of education. Vast majority of us, we keep moving from the outer world. We find that happiness in the outer world and it is not there. And this is what that extroverted pursuit is. So once you start identifying that yes, I have to move from what is known to me to what is unknown, then it is called as stream of experiences, and that is what is the definition of life is. Life is, in Sanskrit it is called as Anubhava Dhara. Dhara means stream. Anubhava means experiences. So an experience can be defined as subject meeting an object. Object is the world, subject is the individual, and the subject meeting that object, a relationship is being gained. Object is beautifully developed by the world. The world is developed by three people: economists, politicians, and scientists. Scientists, they have made the world a better place to live. Economists have given us wealth. Politicians improve human to human relationship. But when it comes to the subject, the individual, you, it has been neglected to a point of fault. So in the past, people have concentrated primarily on the primary duty. Focusing on the primary duty to attain the self is very difficult. They were curious to know more about the world, started having interest, passion for varied fields. They have lost the awareness of identifying the self. Therefore, the birth of Vedanta to remind mankind of what is the primary duty. While they pursued their secondary duty, when I say secondary duty here, passion towards sports, passion towards politics, passion towards business. So when the person is in the sporting field, when the person is in the business field, how is it possible that a person can identify with the self? As it were, it's like focusing on two things. As we proceed, I will explain you how it is possible to focus on two things. Initially, when we learn to drive the automobile, the four-wheeler, when we focus on the accelerator, the gear, the clutch, we are not able to see the road ahead. When we see the road ahead, then we are not able to see the different instruments here. But once we have learned that art of driving, then it is effortless practice. Same way here, once we have learned that art of focusing the mind on the self, the subtler aspect, then it is rather easy to focus on the world. So today the world, there is a lot of change in lifestyle from value-based living to materialistic living. Slide number 14, please. So value-based living increases the standard of life, whereas people, those who are focusing on the external world, materialistic living, they have only increased the standard of living. We have push button comforts. Time has been conquered. But what happens is people are full of mental agitations, hatred. There is no charitable disposition. So if you see here, value-based living, living life with principles like humility. Advaita, a beautiful quality, the first quality of a devotee of God, Bhakta, in the Bhagavad Gita, starts with Advaita, Sarva Bhutanam, no hatred for any being. Kshami, forgiveness. So we discussed in the first session that self-control, a person is having, drop of hat, a person gets angry. Person has a sweet tooth. How is it that a person can govern oneself? Balanced in pleasure and pain. Samaha and dukkha. A person is balanced in that. Value-based living lead a person to external prosperity and internal peace. And that's what the benefits of Vedanta we have discussed in the last session. Whereas today, the lifestyle is, if I am able to improve my standard of living, I am a happy person. So what sort of life a person leads? Tremendous competition, peer pressure. Therefore, a person practices dishonesty. There is no loyalty to the organization. A person has hatred. Two individuals joining an organization on the same day, same qualification. One person after a year is given the promotion, another person is not given a promotion, dry promotion. Develop hatred. Or if you know too much, A person is knowledgeable, develop arrogance. Such a life lead one to external prosperity. Yes, seemingly external prosperity is there, but lot of mental agitation. There is no internal peace. So in this session we have learnt the fundamental principle of education, and then the change in lifestyle. Is there a possibility that I can improve my standard of life as against standard of living? It is not suggested that we should forego our standard of living. We should have ambitions, aspirations, but we should not become over ambitiousness. We should not become greedy. So that will kill the entire spirit of following the very principles here. So next session we will be further elaborating on what is the purpose of developing the human intellect. What is that mind? What is intellect? What is intelligence that we gain from educational institutions? How can a person be improve the individual? Can I be a better human being? And then extend towards identifying the truth, and that's the very purpose, the purpose of human birth. Thank you so much.